Two more combat rescues, these in South Vietnam, were recently recorded by a Jolly Green Giant crew from Detachment 1 of the Air Force's 40th Aerospace Rescue and Recovery Squadron. The two airmen were flying a support mission over the Republic when their F-4D Phantom jet was hit by enemy ground fire. Air Force Sergeant Ken Post has the details of their pickup by the rescue chopper.
Shortly after their arrival over the designated search area, the Jolly Green crew spotted the two downed pilots and began making an approach for the pickup. The Phantom crewmen had both been on their 98th mission when a burst of enemy 37-millimeter ground fire struck the aircraft's left intake. Minutes later, the two airmen had bailed out of their crippled plane into an enemy-held area overrun with dense undergrowth. Less than an hour after his bailout, Captain Darrell Ankeny, the Phantom pilot, was raised on a jungle penetrator to the hovering chopper. A paramedic immediately examined the airman and described his condition as shaken but good. A short time later, the co-pilot, First Lieutenant Armand Turner, was also rescued by the Jolly Green crew. He had sustained minor injuries around the head and face while bailing out of the stricken aircraft. The lieutenant was treated immediately by the Jolly Green Giant paramedic as the chopper pilot headed his aircraft for home base. Both Phantom crewmen were then checked out at the base dispensary before being returned to their unit, the 435th Tactical Fighter Squadron. This is Air Force Sergeant Ken Post reporting.
In the Northern I Corps, elements of the 1st and 3rd Marine Divisions recently conducted a combat sweep operation in an area southwest of Phu Bai. The Leathernecks, supported by Marine artillery and helicopter gunships, overran several Viet Cong positions during the extensive sweep mission. With a report on that action, here's Marine Gunnery Sergeant Jim Kaiser.
This joint Marine ground force is boarding transport helicopters just prior to the kicking off of an important clearing operation in the eastern section of the embattled Northern I Corps zone. Composed of units from the 1st and 3rd Marine Regiments, the assault group is quickly ferried to the landing zone assigned to the operating forces. The area had previously been searched and secured by an advanced scouting party and then marked with smoke flares for the troop-carrying choppers. The combat sweep was ordered to neutralize enemy activity hindering Allied advances in this strategic region. Immediately after touchdown, the Marines move out to establish fire bases and offensive positions from which to initiate the mission. Minutes later, the troops are hit by sporadic small arms and automatic weapons fire from well-entrenched North Vietnamese units up ahead. Backed up by artillery and cruising helicopter gunships, the assault force launches an intense counterattack on the enemy bunkers. Under cover of the heavy barrage, the Leathernecks are able to advance and overrun the NVA positions, causing the Communists to break contact. After a recon patrol makes a quick inspection of the former North Vietnamese stronghold, the main body of troops moves in to conduct a thorough search of the installation. After picking up several suspects and securing the small hamlet, the Marines return to their base camp to report to intelligence officers. This is Marine Gunnery Sergeant Jim Kaiser.
During a recent combat sweep north of the coastal city of Quy Nhon, elements of the 173rd Airborne Brigade captured 3 North Vietnamese near the village of Phu Loc. The 3 prisoners, taken as the result of a blocking force operation by American soldiers, gave intelligence officers valuable information on enemy activities in that area. For more on that, here's Fred Thompson.
These tanks assigned to the 173rd Airborne Brigade are establishing blocking positions around a small hamlet suspected of harboring the enemy. The village is being surrounded to prevent any communist troops inside from escaping while a thorough search is conducted. A patrol is dispatched to comb the hamlet's perimeter, but no signs of the enemy's presence are discovered, and the soldiers then enter the village to begin a systematic search of the houses. All possible hiding places are checked by the patrol, and special attention is given to floors of huts, storage rooms, and haystacks, all likely locations for enemy tunnels or supply caches. Results are negative in Phu Loc, but on the outskirts of the hamlet, elements of the blocking force detain 2 Vietnamese men and a woman as they make an attempt to flee. With the aid of an ARVN interpreter, an intelligence officer from the 173rd interrogates the prisoners. Initial questioning results in definite identification of the 3 as North Vietnamese, and the chopper is called in to evacuate them to an intelligence section at headquarters for further interrogation. It is later learned that the girl is a nurse for an NVA unit, and the 2 men are soldiers, one of them only 15 years old. The girl uses a map to indicate the last known location of her unit and possible escape routes the enemy might be using. Soon after, the 173rd troopers move out in search of that enemy force. This is AFRTS correspondent Fred Thompson.